team play a career development path. And I hope your presentation goes well, and I'm going to pass it over to you now to deliver it. Thank you.
Thank you. I can hear you very well. I hope you can hear me well too. And let's start. So my name is Dinara, and I'm with the Jönköping International Business School, and I'm also a member of Esports Research Network. And I've been passionate about researching esports context for about 5 or 6 years. And my main field of research is charisma and charismatic leadership. So I'm a sociologist, and I'm interested in media and communication studies and how it spans out in different organizational settings. And what I'm going to be talking about today is about my ongoing research. And this paper is about the role and function of charisma as a phenomenon in the context of semi-professional esports teams. And I am particularly focusing on esports teams that are in Counter-Strike and League of Legends. And I am focusing on teams that are aspiring to enter the professional esports ranks. And this research has been longitudinal for many reasons, for the reasons of recruiting participants, but also for the logical reason that I believe that observing someone's, in this particular case, the team's development throughout the years allows you to understand a bit more about what are the different phenomena and factors at play when the team is really trying to move from semi-professional status to a professional gaming status. So I'm going to tell a bit more about the context of temporary teams and why I'm interested in that. And throughout this conference this year, this topic about esports as a model for current and future digital society has really fascinated me, and I really believe that more and more studies in organizational studies in organization theory should look at this context, because what one would anticipate to see in any kind of an organization, whether it would be a big four pharmaceutical company or even a remote work-based organization, a lot of those things are already happening in esports teams. And I do believe that it's a very valid context for research that should be used by more and more people around the world. And what is really great is that the esports sports people, they are already experiencing all these different things with time and space, and all the different juxtapositions between the time and space that, for example, some organizations after the pandemic have only started experiencing. So if one researches this context, I believe that it offers more food of thought and more practical applications and better experiences in organizations. And I'm looking into temporary teams in organizations, not only because there is more and more work that is project-based, which is not long-term, but it's rather in short-term, whatever one may perceive as short and long maybe. And there is obviously a lot of previous studies, such as Burke and Morley, that I cited here in regards to that. And I am very grateful for one of the things that we have in the Esports Research Network, that there is an opportunity to search for previous articles and book chapters, etc., on certain topics. And that's why I went to find out about the research on temporary teams in esports. And some of the themes, these are just some examples that I'm showing here. Some of the themes is regarding temporary teams is that researchers are trying to understand.
If you can hear me, we can't see your presentation. It's only stuck on the main screen at the moment. So if you can have a quick try of sorting that out, that'll be great. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I hope you can see it now. Let me share it once again. All right. Yes, I think it works now. Mm-hmm. All right. So let me know if something doesn't work.
Better.
So I
Thank
will
you very
continue.
much. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So there is a lot of research on temporary teams in esports, and the researchers have tried to understand the effect of different parameters such as intellectual capital, emotional capital, and the gaming styles on the performance of esports athletes. So these are some of the examples. And then there is a lot of research already done on professional esports teams by many people from many different scientific areas. And here I would like to say, just as an example, that Pereira and others have researched League of Legends teams and their professional teams, and there has also been research has been done on Counter-Strike teams. And what I would like to concentrate on here is the semi-professional esports teams and players in Counter-Strike and League of Legends. And I've highlighted the leadership styles and performance here because I feel that there's still work that can be done to see how the different leadership styles, not only of the team owners and coaches, but also of the team players involved themselves, affect the performance of the entire team. And the main theoretical framework for this study is charisma and leadership, and it's based on Max Weber's theory of charismatic authority in his book, The Theory of Social and Economic Organizations. And I did consult it through a translation, but I do hope that I've found all the aspects that are necessary for this. And I would like to stress that Weber finds 3 different types of authority here because it's important for this presentation. Why I concentrate on charismatic leadership when it comes to esports teams is because I believe that in this context and in this setting, it's also confirmed through my current ongoing work that there is a lot of room for maneuver, and there is really a room for charismatic authority in this setting because it is evolving and because it's new and because of its specific relationship with time and space. In traditional authority, that would be the case of hereditary organizations where the power comes from a relative or some family member, etc. And legal rational authorities about organizations where the leadership or the authority is applied to the person according to the specific contract or the specific legal agreement between the leaders and followers. However, the charismatic authority applies to companies where and organizations where, for example, there is no legal agreement, where there is no contract involved, but it could be an organization still, but where, for example, people are not remunerated, but people believe that if there is a vision for the future, for example, that as a team, they are going to break into the professional esports, then they need to put a lot of effort. And that's where people, the members of the organization, are even willing to put extra effort, like working extra hours, more than 12 hours per day on a certain project, etc., in order to achieve a certain goal without even being always paid for it. So it's not very legal rational, but it's more about the charismatic aspects of it. And this brings me to the research question, how semi-professional teams in Counter-Strike and League of Legends are formed, organized and led, and how differently they handle tensions. And therefore, I've been observing several teams from different geographical settings in between 2020 and now. And I did a number of face-to-face interviews, and I also did some recurring interviews with the same people throughout the time. Some of them are no longer in esports at all, so they continued to do a bachelor degree, or they completely changed what they are doing. They moved out somewhere, or their professional interest is in something else. But for me, it's nevertheless very interesting, because I'm interested not in the final result, whether the teams made it into the professional esports or not, but I'm interested in how the decisions are made and how it's organized, and what is influencing the opportunity and the possibility of a semi-professional athlete of becoming a professional one. And I also did some online interviews with people who were maybe not available right after their game, and then it would be easier to reach out to them in a more calmer setting later on. And in terms of the geography, currently I have Swedish, Croatian, and Brazilian teams. And because I was interviewing people at DreamHack and Glitched in Jönköping, and whoever was participating in the tournament and whoever passed the criteria of this research, I was open to everything, and I managed to find some very nice people to talk to, for which I'm very thankful. And I'm also looking at their statistics of individual players and tournament progress in between these years. And it's incredible how many people also stay in esports, but maybe they actually became professional with another team and not with the same some semi-professional team that they started with. So it's interesting to see all these different life journeys in relation to esports. I would say that in terms of the methodological learnings that I have from this research so far, is that I would say that 90% of people that I contacted were very open for the interview, unlike maybe other organizational settings where people might ask to send the interviews them in advance, etc., etc. So this is a very good setting for applying sociological theories and learning about how organizations work, because people are very open-minded, and you only need to find the right time to approach them when they can really speak to you for longer enough time to understand all their situations. And at the same time, I would say that it's been a bit of a challenge to ensure that I have interviews from all the members of the team. So it might be that I managed to interview one or two people, but then I need to also get in touch with the other members, and that's a bit of a challenge. But I do believe that it's possible to do it, and it's necessary to do it to have a full picture, because when it comes to leadership and when it comes to organization studies, every member of this team may have different views on the same situation, like what happened during the tournament, before the tournament, and after the tournament. So moving on to findings and contribution of this study. The role of charisma comes into play usually when there are some tensions in the organizations. Maybe it comes into play when there is a critical moment in the team's history, when it's deciding what is going to happen with them later on, if they are going to continue with this, if they're going to put more effort into this, or if they're going to find some sponsorship, or if they're going to say goodbye to some people and invite new people and so on and so forth. And here charisma comes not only from the so-called in-game leader, but it may be a characteristic of any esports team player, or it can be a quite charismatic owner of a team who also may be a former esports athlete or an esports enthusiast. So charisma is not only something that leaders possess, but also it's a quality of followers of, and these roles may also shift in game or before the game or after the tournament or etc. And it's good that this 5-year tournament progress and rankings were followed, because the most interesting things happen and unfold over time, and people make their decisions. But I would like to say that preliminarily, what people say that regardless if they became a professional esports athlete, or understandably that the barrier to entry is very high, and those who did not become professional, they have a lot of experiences and a lot to talk about. And I find that charisma has implications for temporary organizations' development, especially in critical moments. And some people who may not perceive themselves as charismatic because they're humble and because they don't see themselves that way, may still possess these kind of qualities from time to time. And absolutely anybody can possess charisma regardless of geographical setting or the type of an esports game, etc. And why this research is interesting is because its findings could be applicable not only to this context of temporary esports teams, but also to any kind of project-based or result-oriented, knowledge-intensive organization or organizational environment where charisma can be a decisive factor for this project to continue or to get more funding, or what kind of people it recruits, and for other important decisions. So I believe that it has implications for broader management and organizational theory development. So every research has its own limitations, and I have received a very useful feedback from Tobias and other representatives of the scientific committee, for which I'm thankful, that I could look at other contexts, for example, other games, and explore whether there are similar patterns or outcomes that are emerging. Or I could also do some other forms of comparative analysis with others in my professional teams. And I would also like to say that maybe my title of this presentation is about not so much about career development as it says, but about leadership development. So career development is a separate field of social sciences, so I don't think that I am contributing with it to career development, maybe to a certain point, but that's not my main goal with this research. And yes, and I would like to say that it's continuing, so I am still reaching out to participants, and I'm still looking for where this journey is going to take them, and I wish them all the best. So this was it from my side, and thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dinara. That was a really great presentation. I have one question from the chat before we go to a small intermission, which was, how fixed is charisma as a personality trait versus specific leadership skills? This was by Dad EFX.
Thank you for your question. So how does charisma affect personality skills versus leadership skills? Can you repeat it once again, please?
Yeah, certainly. So it was how fixed is charisma as a personality trait versus specific leadership skills such as communication, management skills, time management, etc.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very interesting question. This is one of the personality types and one of the personality characteristics, but charisma is most prominent when the person who is charismatic is experiencing a critical situation when he or she needs to exercise some form of leadership. So it is a personality quality, but it may be in a kind of a sleeping mode until someone really needs to show it, and until someone is experiencing certain situation where either he or she is inclined to lead, or whether he or she feels like there is a need to demonstrate something, then it comes to the surface. And what is also interesting with the charisma, and which also shows through these esports teams, is that once they, for example, they don't reach their goal of becoming professionals, and then they decide for this or whatever other reason to leave esports and to do something else in their lives, then charisma can fade away. So maybe for certain people, engaging into esports is a possibility to develop a certain qualities that they have and experience the side of themselves that they may not even know about. So something that they may not have experienced of themselves throughout their school or university or other engagements. So it is an interesting situation, and even though it is critical and challenging, but I do believe that it helps people to learn something not only about others but also about themselves. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I think you definitely answered the question there, Dinara. We're going to a short break now, and we'll be going back here with Heather from Sea Dragons to present their research that they've been conducting alongside Patrick that you met. Yeah.